News Know, where truth is authority, with David Dimitri Dauda Asaru, reminding y'all, reflect and represent. Global reach, communing y'all souls' messages. Revealing the truth, inspiring and motivating. See yourself in us, we see ourselves in you. With co-host and truther, Allison Grant. Subscribe on YouTube at Soul Ties Karmic Recall and on YouTube at David Dimitri Records. Times are hectic, get the message and spread the word. Benevolence, as usual, it's me, David Dimitri. Thank you for tuning in. One Love, News Know, representing. It's 2017, it's February, peace. Here from the United States, California, San Bernardino, California, reaching out to the world globally through YouTube and internet. We're thankful for who you are. Want to inspire you, and we want to deal with some issues that are going on in our country because some changes that just transpired due to administrative change. Executive, presidential, administrative change in the United States of America has really shown the power of government and how quickly it could switch and turn. And in human beings' behavior, we call that bipolar. And it just so happened that the sanity is in question and pretty much proven on a narcissistic and sociopathological level of the president that just got put in office, which proves that the United States is full of narcissists and sociopaths, because only narcissists and sociopaths would support and want to be led by a narcissist sociopath. Now, much that subjective point of view I just put out, let's go into some objective, fact-based observations of this social experiment that's going on through Donald Trump and his regime, rejecting all immigration support of immigrants and even refugees. Now, the refugee thing is a different conversation. We don't want to discuss that right now, but we want to discuss immigrants. And with me is a brother, a great sentient being, human being. And I'm telling you, this dude is so cool. Great sense of humor. I live with him. He's my roommate. He's quiet. He's peaceful. He's like the embodiment of the coolness. You know what I'm saying? He's down to earth. He's with what you would want people to be with. He's down with the realness. He's not, and he's from India. He's not down with one of these extreme nerds or one of these extreme scared immigrants that doesn't have a normal life and doesn't really only communicates with his kind and his people. No, this guy is down with whoever he is. He's like literally an American. Like, I wouldn't even think that he's from another country, but that's what makes him so great, is he's showing that stereotypes are just that, stereotypes. You got to get to know this guy. This guy name is Kel, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Tell you a little bit about himself.
Well, I'm Cal. I just came up here to study. I came here to do computer engineering, and that's it. I came here in 2012, the end of 2012, and it's been good so far. So,
yeah. So you moved here to Southern California. Mm-hmm. Where'd you move from?
Oh, I moved from Mumbai, India.
Mumbai?
Mm-hmm.
Woo woo! Mumbai's in the house, you know what I mean? Representing. And so, was there a culture shock for you coming here?
Oh, well, I mean, at first, like, I think everyone has a culture shock. Like,
right.
it's a big distance. Like, you're far away from like everything you've known.
Right.
But still, like, it wasn't super hard to adopt. To adapt to this. Like, like now I'm like, now I can get used to everything over here.
Right.
So,
well, my interest is to know now that, is it scary for you seeing, I mean, as an immigrant, is it scary for you knowing that these changes are happening? I mean,
well, it's not exactly like scary, because it hasn't affected me yet. but you know, like when it affects me, like then at that point, like it'll get real. Like you know, you know, like when it affects me, that's when I should start worrying about everything.
Right.
But yeah, but it did put a doubt, like yeah, like you know, it didn't happen to me yet, like you know, the immigration ban and stuff.
Right.
But you know, like the next steps, like it can be me. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it can be anyone.
Anyone.
It just isn't like me.
Right.
But yeah, it can be anyone. So yeah, that thing, like yeah, all this thing, like it did put a doubt in my mind that like hopefully like nothing crazy goes on.
Right.
And then like you know everyone suffers.
Right. Well, the thing is I'm interested to know because a lot of the big worry is coming from I would say Caribbean and Central and South American immigrants. I don't really think European immigrants and Canadian immigrants too much really are worried, you know, and most of the people I know that were from India that were immigrants worked for the federal government or the state government doing math, like doing accounting and statistics and things like that, databasing and whatnot, and cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And so, you know, so I guess maybe your plight will be a little bit different because probably someone coming from Central or South America, they're just trying to get here and get a job and live a everyday work toward getting education. But you came here specifically to get your education.
Yeah.
How are you funding your education?
And it's going good. Yeah. And it's been going good.
All right.
Since then, like I've been doing good in school and stuff.
You fund your education yourself. You and your family fund your education, correct?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so, well, one of the big fears and worries that's going on is there was a DREAM Act implemented by Barack Obama's his
administration.
Right, and so what was the threat is that's taken away. That helped a specific group of immigrants who are predominantly on the West Coast, Central West of the United States. They're predominantly Hispanic, coming from Mexico and beyond, Central and South America.
Yeah.
News No, where truth is authority, with David Dimitri Dauda Asaru, reminding y'all, reflect and represent.
You better back the fuck up. Move back, motherfuckers. The Onyx is here. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. Move back, motherfuckers. The Onyx is here.
For what I'm observing, there's different groups of immigrants and different economic strata of immigrants. You have an immigrant like yourself who's probably you're here to get education. You're working your way toward possibly becoming a United States citizen. You know, whereas some people are coming here, they want an education too. They work. They you know, they want to become a United States citizen too and everything, but they're not able to afford university education like you.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for a long time, and so this affects these specific groups are more likely the Caribbeans on the East Coast, or if they happen to come all the way to the West Coast here to California, like some of my friends. And then you have those that come from Central and South America. So this is really the objective and the goal of taking away the DREAM Act by this new administration.
Yeah.
To stop this specific group. In other words, if you're a poor immigrant coming to the United States, if you can't afford school fees, if you don't already have an education and don't have a good job offered to you, we don't really want to invest into tax dollars any longer into educating. How do you feel about that specific group of immigrants and how this, you know, this agenda, how it's targeting them? How do you feel about that?
I mean, if there is specific like targeting, then that's always bad. Like the government shouldn't target just one specific group. I think they should like target either everyone, like everyone should be treated equally, or just leave it, like
Right.
don't interfere.
And then that's interesting that you said that way, because also there are the immigrants that are being targeted from the 7 countries that he blocked
Yeah.
with this sudden ban, and they weren't Hispanic.
Yeah.
So it made it clear that the argument that this is targeting the Hispanics only and the Caribbeans only, that's not true.
Yeah.
Because and then the argument where they're targeting only us from Syria, only us from Turkey, only us Kurdish,
From
only
From
Iraq
And,
and Iran. Those arguments saying, well, it's only targeting us, that's not true. It seemed like they just laid out, period.
yeah.
They're sticking to it. Like, if you're an immigrant, things have changed regardless of what type of immigrant you are.
Uh-huh.
All of you, there's this administration and regime, because it's a regime, because many superdelegates in the United States voted for Donald Trump and got him in because he actually lost the popular vote by over 2 million. So, voters, by over 2 million citizenry voters said no Donald Trump. We want actually Hillary Clinton, which I don't support either of them.
Yeah.
But you got these super delegates, which are part of this regime, that want to do this to the immigrants. You happen to be an immigrant. How do you feel about knowing that there's people around you that don't want you here? Because obviously they don't want anybody here that's an immigrant, pretty much.
Well, I mean, that does affect me a lot, because like I spend a lot of money to get to school and
Right.
stuff, and then like all of that just goes away. Like
Right.
that is crazy. But I really hope like nothing crazy happens with this. I honestly think like Donald Trump shouldn't have done the 7 countries, like the immigration ban on the 7 countries,
Okay.
because like I'm pretty sure like there's a bunch of like PhDs and stuff,
Right.
like scientists and all those people who come from Iran. And,
Exactly.
and like basically the government is like denying permission for them, like those smart people to get in
Right.
the country, which is not good. Like you should never stop like super smart people from coming in
Right.
and helping your country. But that's it. Like I really don't think like the government should have done anything with the immigration thing. I mean, of course, like they can control the immigration, but outright banning everything is I think it's a bit extreme.
It is extreme.
Especially for people with like I heard like even people who had green cards.
Right.
Like green cards are like permanent residency
For work.
and
living.
Yeah, it's not just work. Like it's basically like you're like a citizen over here.
Oh.
You can do everything except for
Okay.
vote,
Okay.
but you have all the rights and everything. But I heard like even that was being revoked.
Oh, wow.
For the people from the countries of those 7 specific countries.
Okay.
So I think that's a bit extreme, because I know people, like I personally know people who have been like waiting for a green card for more than 15 years.
Right.
That's like almost
15 years of vetting.
Yeah, that's like
Vetting is the process of finding out who this person is, observing them, testing them, to see if they're worthy of being in the United States or whatever country that they're trying to migrate to or become a citizen of.
So yeah, and then like like just imagining like someone who spent like almost 15 years. That's a lifetime's work to get the card. Like they just. So it's like they just work so hard to get the card,
Right.
And then like let's say they just go on vacation abroad. Like they're like, oh, I'm gonna go to like I'm gonna go to Canada for this, or I'll go to Mexico for summer,
Right.
or for winter because it's warmer there. And then like they go across the border and then they can't enter. Like,
Can't back. Yeah, they can't
even
come
if they
back.
have like permanent residency.
Right.
That is crazy.
That is insane. I think
So-
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm not gonna use the word fair, but I'll just say because that's a word people try to argue against in ethics. But I'll say that's abusive.
Yeah.
It's unequal. It's not equity isn't applied there. Yet we have to not just sit up and criticize. Now we can criticize all we want. You know what I mean? And I don't owe anybody anything. And but I do want to argue the other side. Not that I stand for the other side. I just want to put the argument out there.
Crime Up International, no limits, no chill.
Social media not just for the masses, paying the masses. You see, social media is worth billions. If you hit, it's billions. Stock options for all and any members.
Crime Up International, no limits, no
That
chill.
there's national security issues, and then there's economic distraught. You got a whole group of people called African Americans. Do you, as an immigrant, realize that 200 years before the United States in 1778 was established, 200 years before that, since the 1500s, it was established that all black human beings from Africa were only allowed to be used as slaves. They weren't able to get any credit socially for anything they do, no matter what we invented.
Yeah.
The white people took credit for it. Our women were used as perpetual sex slaves. Our children, all of us suffered pedophilia to the white men of the United States of America. There was no black child that was not sexually abused. There was no black woman that was not sexually abused. We were not allowed to have our own religion. We could only act as if we were not allowed to call ourselves African anymore. We couldn't. It was illegal, and they would brutally kill us for speaking any language other than. We couldn't even speak proper English because it would seem like we were educated. It was illegal for us to be educated, and this is just leading up to 1778. By 1778, they are already the white people in the United States of America who are the United States of America, by the way. And so they would, by 1778, they already had practiced this form of slavery, which is spiritual and psychological slavery. Not just slave labor. It was illegal for us to read and write. It was illegal, not just in the South, but in the North also. In the North also. You understand? It's a lie and it's a myth to think that it only happened in the South. Anywhere the United States was called the United States and had sovereignty, any black human being was a slave. Any human being that was of African descent. Even me, even as light-skinned and as mixed as I am, even with some white in me, I was still a slave. I was only an object to be sold, to be slaved and ordered around. It was, at any time they can come and take your child, and they would take the child and sell it to someone and you would never see the child again. And if you try to act out or cry about it, they would beat you and starve you, kill you. Our women's first child had to be birthed from a rape by a white man. In other words, none of our women could have, all of their virginity were taken by the slave master or his sons or his friends. We went through this leading up to 1778 from 1500s. Then once they established the United States government, it got worse. It got worse. You had whole states, Tennessee slavery, Mississippi slavery. There was no import and export. All they did was slave blacks for their survival. Virginia, Washington, D.C., Wall Street, guess what the first stop was? Black slaves, African slaves. See, so they never gave us reparations. The United States government gives the American natives reparations. Slavery still was until after the Civil Rights Movement. And then slavery transformed. The illusion that slavery ended because of the Civil War was a lie too. And then they never allowed us to economically compete. They never allowed us after the Civil War to own anything. Anytime we built our own communities, they destroyed them. They came in and killed us up. This is what all the whites did. And the United States government allowed it and ordered it to happen. No, even American natives were slave owners. So they were given reparations and they were slave owners. We were never given reparations, never given a chance. All the United States prisons to this day are filled with black men and black women from the United States. So allowing you and all these immigrants here is just a stop to our head. It destroys us. it makes it harder on us because now instead of us getting the jobs, you get the jobs. Instead of us getting the opportunity, you get the opportunity. Instead of us having a business, us owning a liquor store or a 7-Eleven in our own communities, where we're the biggest population there, people from India, people from Middle East, people from, instead of us having a grocery store, the Mexicans just got here from Mexico own a grocery store. Do you know why? Because the United States government and white supremacy. Not because we don't want to do these things. It's proven that whenever we did it, we built our own, they destroyed us. Even these innocent white people, even my white friends watching this know this. And so, we still support you guys. I want there to be immigrants because I want people to come here and I want white friends. I don't care, I can't change the past. I can't change the past that I have Irish slave owner blood in me. My Irish were actually slave owners. That were my ancestors. My Africans ancestors were kings and queens they lost the war that became slaves for hundreds of years. You know, my American Native ancestors were slaughtered and destroyed through chemical warfare by the whites. So I know this struggle, and so because of my humanity, I can't say no. But because of the economic situation I'm in, I say, you know what? Me and my people need help. So if y'all come over here and help us, because we got these people over here that are running these corporations. And so my battle is with the government and the corporations. My battle is with the government and corporations. Why have you not given reparations to us blacks? Why you keep putting us in prisons? Why have you privatized prisons? So that whoever owns the stocks can stay rich. And apparently it's the people that were the oil people. That got our oil from Texas, that were the gold miners of California. Apparently it's the families that benefited from that and from slavery. The Jews and the whites. Why won't you Jews and whites give back? See, we're not against the immigrants that come. Us blacks, we're supporting it. And so all I can say is support and help. I don't feel it's right. And I'm at the shit end of the stick. Me and my people. So you could put a couple of us on mainstream television to fool the world to think that black people are living okay or middle class lives. We're not. You can give all the black women education because it's just these mostly predominantly black women in the universities. You got all the majority, obnoxious amount of black men in the prisons. So what I'm saying is the immigrants deserve a chance. Don't do them like you did us. And stop doing us like you're doing us. Let's fix this. The United government needs fixing. The United States government. Peace, hotel, shalom, one love. It's the Metaphysical Life Coaching and Guidance Counseling, the MLCGC video tutorial series. These tutorials are designed specially for teenagers and young adults. Creator and lead practitioner David Dimitri Johnson, also known as Dawood Yashmal Saru, David Dimitri PUD on Facebook, Yashmal Zero on Instagram. So how do you feel about an immigrant knowing now that you know what we've been through as a people, that we were dogged out to this day? As an immigrant, how do you feel about us and our struggle?
Well, that's actually pretty horrible, whatever happened. I don't know. Like, I really hope that it doesn't happen in any other group over here.
Right.
But that's pretty horrible.
Right. I see a future like there's a book called 1984 and another book called Brave New World. So I don't really dwell on the past.
Yeah.
I just see it as a human experience. I don't dwell on race. I'm mixed. I can't. You know, I'm not a pure-blooded Indian. You're a pure-blooded Indian person from India. You know, that's a blessing. And I'm happy that I'm mixed, you know, with different cultures and different races. But the issue is like, I love black people. I love Indian people. I love Europeans. I love American natives and Australians and igloo people up in the ice. I just love humans, right? The Central and South Americans, woo-woo, you know, all these great Africans and Indian people, Pakistani, Sri Lanka, all these beautifulness of China and Japan and, you know, Cambodia, in Ireland, all these great, the human race, right? But I see a future that it's all of us. If we don't fix this, this is just another, this immigration plight and struggle, these forces that want things to stay the same or to go back in time, where it's just the rich white British, the rich white American, the rich white male, that we're gonna enslave all the white women, you have to stay under us, and the rich whites are gonna go send their military to go crush. Those days are over, but now it's just another form of it, and to me it's on all human beings. Any human being can be a victim of it.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think about that fact that this agenda could be like that? That all humans can suffer now because it's technological oppression. You know, mind control. Like, what do you think?
I mean, I honestly don't think like that should happen. But if that's the direction we're all heading, then I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Like,
It's scary,
what's
right?
gonna happen? Yeah.
Like, what, as an immigrant, you want to have a good life. You want to send money, get a good job, send money back to your family, be able to visit, probably start a family here. You know, right? But do you ever wonder, like, how the future would be for a future generation with this technology? Do you be fearing like computer chips being put in your head or your future generation's head?
No, I don't think.
That type of stuff.
Maybe that might happen, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it'll be better for like for a connected world, like
Okay.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then like if that means like everyone's gonna be monitored and all that, then I don't know. Like it's just too crazy to think about right now.
Right.
But I think we are heading towards that direction where everyone's gonna be monitored no matter what.
Give us a solution on this immigration. What would you like to see happen to fix this immigration problem going on in the United States? And remember, everyone, it's also going on in Europe. The European governments are just as vigilant against immigration. Although they love going around colonizing and taking everybody's resources.
Well, I mean, are you talking about the refugee problem?
No, the immigration issue in the United States. What's the solution to solve this problem? Because the regime or the presidential Trump administration wants to, you know. What's the solution?
I honestly think like they should keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should not let it go out of hand.
You're right.
But I think like they shouldn't like outright ban countries. Like that's like you know, nobody decides to be born in a country like specific country.
Right.
So it's like you know.
But what
it's
about
like,
all these terrorists? Like, is that an illusion or is it real?
I really don't know, but I think
Have
like
you thought about it?
I'm very certain like you know not everyone who comes from there is like a terrorist.
Well, what about all these all the cocaine cartels in Central and South America? All these immigrants coming here. Don't you think that's kind of a threat that some of them are involved in the cocaine and the cartel coming in, trafficking the drugs?
I mean, the thing is like I honestly think like people who like go through the you know like go through the hard work to get a visa or you know or even just cross the wall
Right.
and then just settle over here. I'm pretty sure like they don't want to go back.
Right.
Like if like they are committed like once they cross the wall.
But isn't
that's
there a
it.
threat that some of them are murderers or
Some
drug
of them-
dealers or?
Oh yeah,
Have
if they're
you know that's what Donald Trump's administration is saying that they're worried about.
I mean, honestly, like there can be a possibility, like somebody tries to escape the government from their country.
Okay.
That's why they get in the U.S. so that like,
Right.
they're away from all the jurisdiction and all that.
They're away from responsibility.
Yeah, but so it is possible that there can be some people who like trade drugs and all
Yes.
that, like entering the country.
Mhm.
But I honestly think majority
Criminals.
majority of the people that who get in,
Mhm.
I don't think their intentions are anything like crazy. They just
Exactly.
want to settle here,
I'm in agreement.
and not be bothered.
No, they're living their lives.
They just want to live their
They're
lives.
living normal lives.
Yeah, and if they're trading, like if they're selling drugs and stuff, then,
Right.
then then the laws should take care of them. Like,
Right.
like everyone, like,
We have a strong polity in
Yeah.
law enforcement, in courts, and prison system to deal with that.
yeah, like, like if I end up selling drugs, like, it doesn't, like, just because I'm not from, like, like Mexico or something,
right.
like it's not gonna, like, exempt me from, like, like,
Responsibility.
yeah, I'm gonna
Paying
get
the
it.
consequences.
I'm gonna get into trouble, like,
Right.
no matter what.
Right.
So it's like that. I mean, it's the same for everyone.
Right. Now that you said that,
Crime Up International, no limits, no chill.
Social media not just for the masses, paying the masses. You see, social media is worth billions. If you hit, it's billions. Stock options for all and any members.
Crime Up International, no limits, no chill.
and touching on those levels, the fear that the refugee thing. Now, I think that's different.
Yeah, that.
I personally looked into that, and like everyone, you should know, I study international humanitarian law in Geneva, in international conflict and domestic conflict management. In other words, in conflict resolution and mediation. So in South Africa. So I have a pretty good outlook on this and understanding the international implications. And the United States is in a touchy situation on all these different levels. And it's the responsibility of the United States government and the United States polity to deal with it. The United States should not be felt sorry for like Donald Trump is ramping and raving. Not at all. And the misuse of the idea of a boogeyman like they did with the Nazis, like they did with the Japanese, like they did with the communists, like they did with the drugs, with the war on drugs, is not a right reason to criminalize whole groups of people and to implement laws which would be scornful and unequal and causing children and women and men to go through unnecessarily struggle and strife. But yet, national security is important. Now, I'm pretty sure there's more terrorist efforts at terrorist attacks than there are those that we even know. Because it's not the job, and it's not, you wouldn't want to put so much fear in your populace if every day you're saving from actual terrorist attacks. But I would say the United States of America suffer more from terrorist attacks and efforts at terrorist attacks by actual United States citizens, nationals, and United States militias and secret United States groups than they do from foreigners, than they do from Muslims, than they do from ISIS, than they do from the Taliban, or any group. I think the United States has media and government has put out a lot. And the fact of the matter is the biggest terrorist threat in the United States are actually from United States citizens. Whether you want to accept that or not, it's just a fact. You know what I mean? And so it's an illusion to me. But there's that actual threat. Of course, there's people that are raised up in the Muslim faith and born into that can't take it no more. There's just like there's blacks that historically have rose up as groups, isolated groups, and put some swords and knives into some whites that were enslaved masters. So the same. You go and destroy people's countries just like the Europeans did Africa, did South America, did Asia. Them people start fighting back. So when you're going over there taking people's oil and you're picking and playing games, destabilizing any idea of a government, and you're instigating groups against each other, and that's what British Secret Service, Israel Zionist Secret Service, United States Secret Service, French Secret Service, that's what they do in the Middle East. That's what they've been doing in Pakistan. They've been doing it in India. So we're dealing with this immigration thing and this refugee thing is much more than just what's happening today. And the problem is the majority of people, whether they're on this side of the pole or that side of the pole, are uneducated with the history and don't understand how things come together. And that's why I asked you, do you know about the black people plight? Do you know about the excuses and the reasons why they're saying this national security issue and the dealing with Hispanics that are coming to America because of the cocaine? The argument is pathetic. It's just reasons to blame. And now that the corporations no longer need to be paying and using the Hispanic workforce like they used to during the early 2000s and the 90s. Now all of a sudden they want to put up a wall. And now that the United States government isn't controlling the cocaine distribution like they were because of Guzman, known as El Chapo, was too smart for them. And he established the thing where the Central and South American cartels can control the money and the drugs. They said, well, we need to put up a wall. We're not getting the profit from it no more. So we're not getting it. So, but, you know, look at the United States government in Afghanistan. Why are they there? So they can control the heroin distribution and heroin market. The Taliban took control of it in the early 2000s. Did you know that? And they made it outlaw to grow and to distribute heroin. The United States government took months to go in there and kill off all of those people that were from Afghanistan, labeled as Taliban. That was their government. United States, British, Israel. Why? Because the people that control this world are heroin and cocaine users.
News No, where truth is authority, with David Dimitri Dauda Asaru, reminding y'all, reflect and represent.
The elites of this world use cocaine and heroin. I'm not against cocaine and heroin. I think it should be legal and it should just be monitored, like in Europe, in certain countries, like Amsterdam. I think that's the better way to deal with it, because addiction is natural for humans, and so use of mind stimulants and altering substances is natural for humans. So, but my issue is, these people are not sober people that are running your governments and that are running the world banks. These people are sociopath narcissists worse than Donald Trump. You know, so this is the issue that I think you are all trying to separate and say, no, we need to look out for our government. We have these threats against us. Yes, those exist. But I have a threat of you being a narcissist and a sociopath, or you support narcissist sociopath. You're a threat. Because you support narcissist sociopath. Racism is narcissism and sociopathology to a degree. And so we're dealing in classism. So we're dealing with a lot of different things in dealing with this immigration issue that aren't being said.
Yeah.
You know, and the United States government isn't this innocent government. You know, you want to, national security is not is argued to be protecting the polity and government. And then another level of national security is protecting the people and the property. But it seems to me like national security is really being used to protect the polity and the government, not the people. So thank you for giving us this interview.
Oh.
You know, and my views are not necessarily his views are not necessarily mine. Keep tuning in. Subscribe on YouTube, David Dimitri Records. If you're watching this on your other social medias, check me out. We're trying to represent, put out these serious matters and deal with them while they're happening. Come up with solutions. Think about it, solutions. Comment. Go to www.Soul Ties Karmic Recall to see more about what I do and what I offer. And check out and join my own social media website, Prime Up International. That's PRIMEUPINTL.com. It's me, David Dimitri. Join, subscribe, comment. I want to know what you say. Make your video responses. You know, this is serious. And those of you that are part of my community here in the United States, I think we should be talking about this. And I want to push this, that it's our responsibility too.
News No, where truth is authority, with David Dimitri Dauda Asaru, reminding y'all, reflect and represent. Global reach, communing y'all souls' messages. Revealing the truth, inspiring and motivating. See yourself in us, we see ourselves in you. With co-host and truther, Allison Branch. Subscribe on YouTube. at Soul Ties Karmic Recall and on YouTube at David and Mitri Records. Times are hectic, get the message and spread the word.